By the end of the dinner, the app was number one in the App Store.
And the first kind of red flag that pops up is security and privacy.
What we call the proof of participation, that gives you privilege.
I noticed like some similarities between what you're doing and the show Silicon Valley.
There are similarities for a reason, yes.
Welcome to the Alpha Podcast, brought to you by Neverland Labs and hosted by me, Justin, here in Buenos Aires. We're at the Polkadot Decoded conference in Buenos Aires. This is a special edition. These episodes are unique because I'm co-hosting them with Jay, who has his own podcast, and we're kind of working together where we're co-interviewing people and switching things up. There'll be a version on his channel and there'll be a version on this channel, so make sure to check out both versions, and we already know mine is going to be better. I want to remind you that everything you're about to hear is not financial advice, nor do we endorse any of the projects or guests on the show. It is simply meant for educational purposes, and sometimes we're learning about these people or projects in real time. While this is brought to you by Neverland Labs, the opinions expressed are of mine, the guests, and also Jay's. I want to give a huge shout out to Polka House, who brought us out here to make this happen. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this series, and let's tap into the episode.
Building a platform where it's a decentralized mobile platform, fully decentralized architecture on mobile, and we create value by connecting things, connecting also data that can be accessed and people. So that's basically our value proposition today. And we are very present on mobile. We grow pretty fast on mobile. And the way we arrived to this idea and this project, which we have been working on actually for a long time. We started in the end of 2017. We've been through the crypto winter of 2018. We are here for the long term. So the way it started is my accent. You probably recognized. I come from Europe. I'm French originally, south of France. Moved to the US 11 years ago. And when I built my first company in Silicon Valley, we were building a protocol called peer-to-peer mesh. So it's kind of decentralized wireless on mobile. And as we built that protocol and it started to be used for sharing mobile data, we launched an app for Burning Man. All my friends were asking, "Oh, Micha, we need a way to communicate when we are at Burning Man in the desert, because there's no cellular network, there's no Wi-Fi. It would be great if I could find my friends, or at least convey something to my friends when I'm there."
Yeah.
So we leveraged that technology for a messaging app that was called FireChat. And it was a way for people to participate in the same group, public groups actually, and then share information when they were on the playa.
And if they were within a certain range, they use this mesh network to...
You wouldn't need to figure out if you were already in range of another smartphone or not. I mean, the app would store the message and relay it when there is someone nearby. Well, it makes it very pervasive and a way to push messages actually pretty easily. I mean, there was some tests made even in situations like in case you have a big flood or a big natural disaster. And there was a test made in the Philippines, actually, in the city of Makati, in the whole neighborhood. And we were able to spread out alerts on 84% of smartphones that were in that location within 24 to 48 hours. So with no cellular. And so it's pretty effective technology and very hard to implement, very hard to maintain, because you depend a lot on the operating system, basically, vendors. But the crazy thing, which is pretty revolutionary, and we are building a platform that we wanted to create a huge revolution on decentralized network on mobile. So for the story, so I was in, and that's what I was telling yesterday. I was in Hong Kong after Burning Man, and that same year in 2014, I was having dinner with a friend, and as we having a conversation, he tells me, "Oh, Micha, the app is going up in the store." And by the end of the dinner, the app was number one in the App Store. And what happened was pretty amazing. The day after, I realized we had 100,000 people in the city of Hong Kong who installed the app. I shared some screenshots, which were in Chinese, with some people in my team who speak Chinese. And I said, "Oh, Micha, the students are coordinating and organizing the umbrella revolution." And so I stayed in the city of Hong Kong, and over a period of 7-10 days, we had 500,000 people in the city installing the app. And it was basically the main mean of communication during that time, because you had so many people in the streets that all the network was saturated.
And
everywhere I was going, I was having notifications, user nearby. And so after that, basically, I noodled a lot on that. And a couple of years later, founded Nodal. And realized that we could build a fully decentralized architecture on mobile, but the best way to actually maintain these nodes active would be to reward people with a cryptocurrency. And it's basically that's what we did. We have a cryptocurrency. It's called Nodal, Nodal. And people receive that cryptocurrency for maintaining a node active on their phone and connecting to things, or at some point also to people. And we build application on this network. And the first app is for businesses, enterprise. So if you are familiar with Apple Find My or the Apple AirTag, so it's the same thing, but in a decentralized manner, and we enable businesses to benefit from that network for locating their assets.
Yeah, okay. So what would be some examples of that?
One we are starting in a couple of months, which is pretty big in Europe. It's an insurance company, and they put Bluetooth beacons in cars as cars get sold, and the people purchase this insurance. And they use the crowd of people for locating the vehicles. We also work with the city of Paris for locating their assets within the city. And
Like benches and things like that. Okay,
Public
so if somebody moves them.
Public infrastructure.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it's just the beginning, and we thought that it was already a great application with businesses that could generate revenue stream into the ecosystem, and so that's why we started to start with this. But no, we are excited because we know it's just one app, and there are tons of apps that can be built on this network and benefit from this decentralized wireless and mobile platform.
My mind goes to creating a really elaborate scavenger hunt.
Oh yeah, sure, totally. Wait, could you track a pet on that?
If the pet has a Bluetooth tracker, then that can be
on a collar or something.
On
like
a
that.
collar,
Yeah.
absolutely. Then if that's basically registered through one of our app on the network, and it can be located.
When you mentioned like natural disasters or also emergency situations, like I didn't even think of that as an application, and to me that seems like a very obvious one. You can really solve a lot of problems by having that and that communication, or even pushing out alerts or things that when a network is completely down, you have now the ability to communicate.
Absolutely, and we are not taking that direction with the first app we built within the team, but we hope some people will come up with this.
Essentially, you're building this baseline foundation that people can create these applications to utilize your service for those.
Absolutely, and the way to show what can be done, we use our mobile app, which is called Nodal Cache. It's available on iOS, on Android, and pretty easy to set up. Less than 90 seconds, you create a wallet, you start to participate, you start to earn. The idea is that at some point, anyone can pick any components that they will see in this app, or that maybe hasn't been implemented in the app, but is available through the repo for anyone who wants to interact with the chain or the network.
I would imagine a lot of people are hearing this and like it sounds awesome and wonderful, but then the first kind of red flag that pops up is security and privacy. Is that something that you guys address with this?
Absolutely. We actually put a lot of neurons and time into this. You will see if we install the app that basically we don't ask for any of your information. What we use in terms of for example, creating a proof if you are in the same location has other people to prove that you were there, is basically a random identity that is generated and encrypted and only known to the people who were there. It's not even shared with the network. So that enables us to create very anonymous that can be leveraged by the people who basically decide to use it for, like I explained yesterday, for example, entering the same chat group that the people are at a conference, or Decoded it yesterday, for example.
Another application that you had kind of mentioned that was interesting to think about was like with POAPs. One of the problems with a POAP is like if I go to a conference or an event and there happens to be a QR code or something, a way to claim it, I could send it to Jay, who's not there, and he can still claim it. But with your technology, you have the ability to, you have to be there because your technology proves that
exactly
you're there.
You get it. So with what we call the proof of participation, you really get a cryptographic proof that you were in a specific location with other people or a group of people, and that gives you privilege. So you can be accessing a chat group automatically. There's also the very seamless aspect of it, which is great. Like next year, when we implement it on the app, you can be at Decoded, and automatically, because there's a proof you were there, you can have access to the chat group of the people at the conference automatically.
Right.
Right.
And or you could purchase an NFT that gives you that access also. That's another alternative.
Yeah, well, I think your app is very slick. Like back on the security topic there, yeah, I was a little nervous to download it initially because of the privacy issues and everything. But once I did, bicycling around Toronto, and I'd stop at a red light, pull out my phone, and then I have all these like nodal things popping up because it's like connecting with devices all over, right?
So what's happening? You have the node is active, and it's going to try to look if there are devices around that basically benefit from the network.
Yeah.
And in the case of this insurance company, if it's a car that basically has this specific type of beacon and they are registered on the network, then basically automatically the phone captures the encrypted identity, tags it with the location, the time, and sends it directly to the owner of to the insurance company or the owner of the car.
So, and you're normally using Bluetooth technology, right?
Correct.
So it's just not using anything like the Wi-Fi or anything like that?
Not yet.
Okay.
We like wireless. We like to mingle with other type of protocols, but for now, Bluetooth is actually the one we can do the more things with. On smartphones, you have an interesting one, which is Wi-Fi aware. Also, you can actually move a lot of data between smartphones using that protocol. So maybe sometime we will integrate that protocol as well.
How does that impact battery?
You can use the app for a couple of days. If you are a normal user of your smartphone, you will see that probably a couple %, like 1, 2.
Is there any security risks for opening up your Bluetooth and the potential of somebody hacking?
Well, I think if there were really concerns about Bluetooth today, and I know there have been
AirPods.
Yeah, you wouldn't have the AirPods. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't connect to a wireless speaker. I mean, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are building this mobile application. Oh, one other cool thing I just want to touch on is the idea of embedding the Nodal network into apps as a sort of revenue for like games and things like that. I think that's very, very cool. But just pulling back a bit, how important is getting blockchain in the hands of people wherever they are on mobile devices? How important do you think that is for the development and adoption of blockchain?
Some studies, so Andreessen Horowitz released a study, I think 2 months ago probably now. They said, there are 50 million active wallets, really, worldwide. Some other studies say 300 million. Whatever is the number, the reality is you have 6.4 billion smartphones out there. I mean, we want this ecosystem to win. We are already in a war today, I would say, with the old system and what everyone in the crypto ecosystem is working every day to build. And to win, we need to basically to reach billions of people.
Right.
And the best way to do that is actually to make it so easy for them to access this, the ecosystem and start to use cryptocurrencies, even sometimes without knowing. You can use blockchain without knowing. But by using the mobile as the best way to offer the largest number of people. It's so easy for anyone to install an app. We all have smartphones in our pockets, sometimes more than one.
We need to onboard more people. We need to educate them. And in reality, we need to build applications that people are utilizing the tech without knowing because they're just utilizing it, and the experience is what matters. I use the analogy of there are tons and tons of people who still don't know that the difference between Wi-Fi and internet, and they use them interchangeably. They just want to get on. Like, people get on Instagram. They don't realize they're getting on the internet to use Instagram. They just want to use the applications and the services. Yeah, that's the best way, is getting in the hands where people are and they're on their phones.
That's why the user experience is key.
Yeah.
And when you look at the crypto ecosystem in general, many dApps are made by developers who basically don't know necessarily mobile. But I think it's changing. I think it's really changing, and we are getting more and more developers in the whole ecosystem who are more familiar with mobile, and so who care about the user experience. So I think things are gonna change, and if we can play a big role in that, then it would be amazing. And as you mentioned, Jay, we have an SDK that other apps can add it to their app to generate revenue by maintaining the node active on their app, without having to push ads to users. But soon we also want to bring more tools for these developers to be able to benefit from the network for their own apps.
Cool.
That's a big thing we want to do.
And you're in the Polkadot ecosystem. You're building a parachain?
So we are a parachain. We won the slot number 11. That was back in the beginning of March. It was a crazy battle. I'm super happy we made it, and we were in the first 10 or 11 parachains. So 11, actually we have number 11, but batch 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And super happy it's behind us now. I think I lost a couple of years of life in that
Yeah,
battle.
what an epic battle, man.
And then it was fun. I mean, I think the community was super excited. I think we surprised a lot of people because we were not basically the leader at the time, even for slot 11.
And I think you guys were one of the first to go straight to Polkadot. You totally skipped the Canary network. You just went, boom, right away.
Yes, exactly. We have a parachain on Polkadot. We migrated actually a bit more than a month ago, so now parachain is live. And we didn't go for the Canary network, so Kusama. I mean, it's a lot of effort to maintain 2 live networks.
Yeah.
It was already a lot of effort to migrate to Substrate and then become a parachain. So I think it's a good focus. And we love the Polkadot ecosystem. We think it's a great ecosystem. We hope we can build more partnership with the other parachains. And we like the vision of Gavin, which is basically this interoperability, made easy between chains. The fact that you can have the freedom to build, like you can customize your chain for the needs of your domain of expertise, and then benefit from the security of the whole Polkadot network. And we are pretty in a good position now, even if we are probably one step before having the token being exchanged live. We have close to 500,000 holders of the token, which makes us, by number of token holders, probably the largest parachains today, and just behind Polkadot. So we are super excited.
I got a question here. It's a little off topic, Micha, but I noticed like some similarities between what you're doing and the show Silicon Valley. Can you tell? Is that just in my imagination, or what the heck's going on?
It's cool you mentioned it, but. We actually the Silicon Valley show, get inspired by what happened in Silicon Valley in startups.
Right.
And they asked me to advise actually on the last season.
Okay.
And many things that happened in the previous seasons are very similar to what happened to my team and I and our products while we were building this decentralized wireless network with peer-to-peer mesh.
Right.
So
right.
there are similarities for a reason. Yes.
So
they were very much inspired by what happened and what we built. Yes.
Was that set up? Did you know about that? Or
no, I love the show.
Wow, that was impressive.
It's so true. It's such a good caricature. I mean, it's so true. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
So Twitter, like I said, Antenor, ANTHENOR. So that's for me, and for Nodal, Nodal Network at Nodal Network on Twitter.
And that's NODL.
NODLE. Network, and we have also another Twitter handle for the cryptocurrency, which is Nodal Cache at Nodal Cache.
And if anybody wants to just download the app, they can go to the App Store on iOS or Android?
You can go on the App Store or on the Play Store, type Nodal, NODLE, space Cache, CASH, and here you are, 90 seconds, and the app creates a wallet for you. You start joining the network and start earning.
Yeah, we did it at dinner last night. So
you signed up?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Oh, dude, welcome to the Nodal Club.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me here. Big thank you to this community here of people in Buenos Aires. It's
awesome.
It's been amazing.
It's been an amazing event, yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
Thank you.